So, Vardhan, I am absolutely delighted to be conducting your first UK interview, and that too, the fact that you're here in the UK right now shooting for Kunal Kohli's next. So,
Right.
firstly, a warm welcome and congratulations on the film as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my brother. It really means a lot. And this is my first interview in the UK. And who better than you, Anuj Radia, for doing it for me? So thank you for having me. And I'm really excited about this one.
Oh, the
Yeah.
pleasure is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. Now, Vardhan, I mean, I think it's been quite a journey for you. I mean, Ye Sali Ashiki had released, and
Right.
it was
Right.
quite a meaty role for you. You played
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
double role in that,
That's
and
right.
now you're
Yeah.
sort of doing like it seems to be like a breezy rom-com. Obviously, I know you're not allowed to say much at the moment,
Right.
but I think for you as an actor, as a I guess when you're in your nascent stages of your career, to sort of get a platform like the one that you're working on currently, what does
That's
it?
right.
What significance does it hold to you at the moment?
I'm. I feel like I'm born to tell stories. I'm born to entertain, and no greater happiness for me than being on set. I recently, before this film, I just completed a film with Vivek Agnihotri, who is someone I really think is a great, very good director. He, after watching Tashkent Files, I was so excited to work with him at some point, and I used to keep sending him messages, and I used to keep irritating him by calling him, and he had always just once had told me that when the time is right, we will work together. And he was doing this film, and Mukesh Chabra sir was casting for it. And one day I received a call, and he said that I really think you should do this film, and they're excited to work with you. And I think it took me 2 hours to sign the film, and the next day we were reading together. So I think the universe has plans for everyone who really wants something. So yeah, I think it's very important for me to be an actor. I'm blessed, and I have so much gratitude because this is the only thing I love doing. And I just last year I was thinking to myself that I've been a part of the film industry for 10 years now. I've been an actor and I've been a film actor for the last 2.5 years. But before that, I've been an assistant director. I've been a writer, an assistant writer. Before that, I've been an associate director. So I really wanted to go outside of India and make a film.
Hear
I'd
it.
never worked on a film outside of India. And the universe is always listening to you. It knows what exactly you want.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm doing this just makes me believe that the universe loves me as much as I love the universe. And I'm so blessed to be acting, and I'm so blessed to be in your country. And the people here are treating us so well. And the crew, a lot of our crew is white, a lot of Britishers here. And we've just become this big family, and we're just having the best time ever.
That's delightful to hear, and I'm really glad
Yeah.
to hear that. I mean, the fact that it's quite special as well because you're working with Kunal Kohli, who I think is a pioneer when it comes to rom-coms. I mean, I've grown up watching his films, and he's literally, and I think an entire generation has grown up watching his movies as well. The fact that Kaveri again is someone who I share a very special connection with, and I did her like interview as well when she was just 14, when she had just released her single as well at that point. She's making her acting debut now as well. So I guess when you're having someone like Kunal Kohli to work with and a sort of a fresh face in that sense, I guess that
Hmm.
whole atmosphere must be quite comfortable for you, right? Like you must feel very naturally at home in that sense.
Actually, I'm in a very strong contract. I'm not allowed to say anything, but I can just tell you that the people I'm working with are amazing. They're as good as family to me now, and the project I'm working on right now is brilliant. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm very, very excited for it to be out and for people to react to it and uh, get entertained.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes,
And
yes.
I kind of clocked on as well that you can't say much, so we'll
I
definitely.
can't. I can't. So I'm not being able to take names of people, and I'm not allowed to because
Yeah,
I'm scared of that contract I've signed.
I
But
know.
yeah, I think you know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm just really excited about this. Very, very excited about this. Touch wood, knock on wood.
For sure, for sure. But I think Vardhan, it's quite fascinating as well because you are the grandson of the legendary Amrish Puri.
That's right.
Again, generations have grown up watching his works. And I think for you as well, having a grandfather like that, and quite a legacy to look back on. I guess, do you ever feel like it's been was there ever any sort of pressure, I think, on you? Because I know your dad wasn't actually an actor either, and you decided to sort of foray into this field as well. So has there ever been that pressure for you in that sense where you're like, oh my God, this is a legacy I have to live up to, ever?
Honestly, it never was. I never allowed it to become a pressure. I think more than myself, I should thank my family because they recognized very early on that I am here to entertain. I've been born to entertain, and my personality and my grandfather's personality is very different. Our core is the same, but the kind of actor I am, the kind of actor I don't like to say he was, he is, because his work is everywhere and he's so relevant even today. So the kind of actor he is, the kind of actor I am, are very different. The way we look at material is very different. The way we react to situations is very different. But our core is the same. Our love for acting, our passion towards cinema is the same. So more than any pressure, I think it's a responsibility to be his grandson. So therefore, I have to select my work very carefully. I have to make sure that whatever I'm doing, he's looking at me from the heavens and smiling at me, and he doesn't feel like, मैं- एक कहावत है हिंदी में कि कुछ भी करिए पर बिक मत जाना. I don't want to ever get, I don't want to ever sell my soul because I'm deeply passionate about telling stories. I'm a very sensitive artist, and I want to tell stories which move people, inspire people, touch people. I never want to be that actor who does a movie just because I'm getting insane amounts of money for it. Or I don't want to do a project because I feel like someone will feel bad if I don't do it. That's not being an honest artist, right? So
Agreed.
I just want to really do work. I just want to make films which make a difference. I want to make films which help in community building. I want to tell stories. I just want to make people smile. I want to inspire people. I want to move, I want to move people and make them feel deeply. So yeah, if I do that, I'm sure, just like he always does, he's going to look at me and smile, and that's the greatest award for me. Yeah,
Oh, that is very sweet, and I'm sure he is already smiling at you. To be very honest, from above,
he
and
is, he is all the time.
yeah, for sure, definitely. And but I think because I know you were an assistant director on quite a few Yash Raj Films projects as
That's
well.
right. That's right.
I think Ishak Zadeh was one of them. I think you've been a part of
Yeah,
many actually to name.
I did Ishak Zadeh, so that was my starting ground. So I started with Habib Faisal, one of the finest directors in the country, if not the world. Uh, I also had the good fortune to be with him on the writing table. The film
Wow.
then was called Tevar, and then the title changed to Ishak Zadeh. And then after that, so I worked from writing till release. Then I got on to Shuddh Desi Romance with another genius, Manish Sharma, who's one of the finest producers and directors in our country today. Then after that, I jumped back onto Habib Sir's Davatesh, and again I was on that one. I wasn't really involved with the writing because it was already written, and then I jumped straight onto pre-production, then production, then post, and then I was there till the release. And yeah, so I did work with them for, I think, somewhere just around 4 or 4.5 years,
Hmm.
and I think that was the greatest experience of my life, and I'll be ever grateful to Mr. Aditya Chopra, Mr. Yash Chopra, for just being so lovely, so kind, and the best mentors I could ever ask for. So I owe so much of what I know today to that beautiful family. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But I think because of the fact that you have worked on those films as an assistant director during, your very, very, very initial stages of your career as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
do you feel like because of the exposure that you've had there and the sort of style of films you've explored there, do you feel that to a certain extent has impacted the sort of roles and characters you look out for now when you get offers?
Definitely, most definitely, because Habib Faisal, Manish Sharma, Aditya Chopra, Yash Ji, the great, and all those people I was interacting with, whether it was Mr. Kabir Khan or Ali Abbas Zafar, Victor sir, Vijay Krishna Acharya sir, uh, people like there's this genius. His name is Mohit Sajnani. He cuts the trailers and promos at Yash Raj Films. He worked with me on Ye Sali Aashiki.
Mm,
Just that team, Ritesh Bhai, all these, Ashish Singh, he used to be there. He's not there anymore. All these amazing minds. I used to interact with them, and I used to dive so deep into our Hindi films and our Hindi cinema, the ethos of it, how it all started. We watched classics together. We discussed great films, great characters, uh, great plots, plot points, screenplay, so many things. So it just got embedded in me that it's not about, it's not only about playing hero. It's not only about playing the main lead. It's about playing characters. It's about playing actual characters with flesh, with blood, with sweat. So, of course, our Hindi films stand for heroism, and I think heroism is great. But if we can get realism to our cinema and still create inspirational heroes, I think that balance is what uh, should possibly define us in the next few years. And yeah, definitely, all these people, their thoughts, our discussions, all that definitely helps me choose what I'm doing at the moment. And
mm,
yeah, that plus uh, a lot of cinema which I've viewed before and after my experience as an assistant director. Uh, yeah, the way I've been brought up, the way I view the world, the
mm.
kinds of books I've read, the kinds of stories I've been told, all of those influence what I want to do. And most of all, it is my instinct. It is my instinct at that point when I hear a story or when I read it. If it moves me, if I feel like I connect with it, then
Mm.
I don't question it. I don't put any logic to it. I just go with my emotion and I do it.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. So I think just to kind of take it a bit further back, Vardhan, I mean,
Right.
what exactly inspired you the most to join this industry in the first place? Because obviously, as you know, I mean, Hindi cinema or cinema generally is a very, very cutthroat industry in that sense as well.
That's right.
So how prepared were you? I mean, in terms of dealing with life generally, whatever it throws at you, whether it's success, failure, uh, waiting for the right opportunities or trying to wait for hearing back from casting agents. How prepared were you, I think, before you decided to come into the industry in that sense?
Answering your first question, what inspired me? I I've been watching a lot of cinema since I was really young, and with the influence of my grandfather at home, with the influence of uh, his, just observing his passion towards theater and films was, I think, the most moving experience of my life. And I joined theater really early. So when I was 5, I was already helping with backstage. I was helping with makeup, with lines, with scripts. I was already doing all kinds of odd jobs in the theater. So I actually honestly never had like film acting ambitions at that point, because at one point when I was just about to become like a filmy kid, like a typically filmy kid, my grandfather got really scared and he put me in theater. And he said that जितना भी इसमें ईगो है वो सारा निचोड़ के बाहर फेंक दो, क्योंकि अगर ये इसमें वो गुरूर आ गया, if he starts getting arrogant about the fact that he's my grandson, his life is finished. So I had no idea about what a set looked like, even though I was, the grandson of such a big star. I didn't know what set looked like. He never allowed me on set. Even when I went on set, I was only made to sit in his vanity van. So it, I never had like film acting ambitions until I started watching classics and really good cinema and all of my grandfather's work, and especially Charlie Chaplin films. And at
Yeah.
that point, I realized that, one day I want to learn film acting and become a film actor. And my grandfather passed away when I was 15 years old, and he was my best friend. So that broke my entire world. And it was almost like my umbrella flew away in the midst of really torrential rains. So after that happened, I decided, I think the day he passed away, that one day I'm going to become a film actor, and not just a film actor. I will become more than a film actor, a person who influences society. and whatever I do, I'll dedicate to all four of my grandparents. So that is something I said to myself, and I maintain that even today, and I will do that.
Mm, mm,
Yeah. So, wo hua, phir, talking about your other question, how prepared are you for all of this? I believe that success and failure, they're very temporary. We're not here to either be. Of course, it's the best feeling to be a huge star and to be very successful and all of that. But I think the process of filmmaking, the process of getting things done is so much more exciting than the result. So I'm so absorbed in things, right from the script to my look to my performance to my costumes to my props to what I'm going to do to the location to what actually happens on the edit to what will happen after release, that I don't have time to think about, oh, ye picture chalegi ki nahi? Will this do well? Oh, this film did these many numbers. Ab kya hoga? I feel like there was a point in my life a few years back when I was a micro planner. I used to plan like, oh, I'll do this and then I'll do this and then I'll do that. But I don't think you can really plan because you know recently like a really great uh, friend of mine told me that life is what happens when you are planning life. You know,
mm,
so in those moments when you're actually making plans, what happens then is life.
true.
So you can't really plan too much, and I've learned to be prepared for whatever comes at me, and still, in spite of everything, just be strong, carry that smile, and just keep doing what I am doing with blinkers on. So
Mm,
my grandfather wanted to be an actor when he was 20, like a film actor, and he got his first film when he was 41.
yeah.
In his
True.
head, he could have been like, damn, this is not happening, let's get done with this, let's just do something else. But he waited for 21 years to become a film actor and then see what he did. you know
Mm,
Charlie Chaplin he didn't know who his father was. His mother did literally nothing at the theater, and she was humiliated all the time. He had no money, he had no support, and he was born a failure. But he was so strong in his vision of what he wanted to be and how he wanted to get where he had to, and look at what he did. So I think
mm,
it's it's about how you perceive failure, how you perceive success. The moment you feel you failed, you're done. You have to keep going, you have to keep believing that one day that your time will come, and it 100% will, because everything is subjective. Success, failure, how do you define success? If a big actor today says that, oh, I'm such a failure, he's a great success if you compare him with an urchin on the street,
mm,
right?
mm,
if
mm.
a if an urchin on the street is of a positive bent of mind, he could be the most successful man in the world, because success and failure is not how society defines you. It's about how you feel in your head.
Mm.
And I feel like, the fact that I am a part of this film industry, this fraternity, I'm already very successful and I'm very blessed. So whatever comes to me now is bonus.
Yeah, no, very true. Well said there. But I think that's the thing, though, isn't it, Vardhan? Because I feel like in this industry, I feel like it's one thing about us, feeling content within ourselves. But क्योंकि हम एक ऐसी इंडस्ट्री में है जो लोग हमें देख रहे हैं, लोग
जी.
हमें necessarily judge नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन
आपकी हिंदी
प्रशंसा
बहुत
कर रहे
अच्छी है, by the way.
हैं. Thank you. अरे
I really
धन्यवाद.
like I really like how you said that. I was like, कितनी अच्छी जुबान है आपकी.
अरे
मजा आया.
धन्यवाद. Thank you.
हाँ जी.
Yeah, but because of the fact कि लोग हमें देख रहे हैं, हमें constantly feedback मिलता है.
Yeah.
Do you not feel थोड़ी सी भी fear नहीं होती आप में कि oh my god लोग क्या कहेंगे, because it's a natural thing to fear what people say, right, and to fear what the reception will be.
That's true. And I used to think a lot about what people will think, especially when my first film came out. Luckily, the reviews are very good. But I was very scared because at that point, I was still younger, more immature, and it really mattered to me how someone felt about my performance and how someone felt about the film. But today, I feel like it is very important to take criticism well, all of that. But you have to work on it, and you have to assimilate it in a constructive manner. You can't get dejected. You can't feel like, "Arey, isko acha nahi laga yaar, means I'm really bad." There's a very interesting saying. It's called the interesting point of view approach.
Hmm.
Everyone's point of view has to be uh, considered by you, and you have to appreciate it. You have to be like, if everyone's giving me a different opinion, it means people are being honest. If everyone tomorrow comes and tells me, "Bro, I watched this film," and everyone is unanimously telling me that, outstanding, outstanding, I'm going to feel like, yeah, these guys are doing chabchagiri. These guys are just saying, yeah, these guys are saying this to me to be in my
और वो
good books
होता है,
because I'm an
और वो
actor.
होता है.
It
हाँ.
happens. It's happened with my closest friends. Like, my closest friends were really honest with me, and once I became an actor, some of them who are not very close to me started treating me differently. Every time I came, they said, "Arey, kya lag rahe ho, bhai? You're looking so good. Arey, this film you did, oh, it's the best film I've ever seen." And I was like, yeah, if all of them are saying the same thing, I'm not being able to believe them. Then I realized that honest criticism, there's one analyst, one critic whose name I would not like to take, he was the only person who called me after the film, and he told me that he's the only guy who's given me a bad review about my first film. He called me and he told me that, yeah, I watched your film and I want to talk to you for 2 minutes, but can I be honest with you? I said, yeah, please be honest. He told me that, yeah, I watched the film और मुझे कुछ समझ ही नहीं आया. I didn't understand what you're trying to say. Are you trying to say that, like, I don't think he got the film, but it's fine. But
Yeah.
he was like, are you trying to say that girls are always wrong? It's the guys who are innocent in every case where where a problem arises. And I was like, bro, you've not got the film, but I appreciate the honesty. And he told me that, if I was the director of the film, I would have directed you differently. I felt like certain places you were directed in a filmy manner. I would have kept it more real. And I promise you, that was the only 15-minute call I had with any critic, because I was running helter skelter. I was really busy. So all the calls were like 30, 40 seconds, 30, 40-second calls. And this guy spoke to 15 minutes. And I'm talking about the 29th of November 2019, the day the film released. And when I was speaking to him, because I'm human too, the first few seconds I was like, yaar, isko film achhi nahi lagi. What the hell? But the rest of the time I was like, this guy is helping me grow. This guy is teaching me something. This guy is actually an honest critic. And I'm still most in touch with that guy, because I'm like, this guy's actually here to tell me what he didn't like so that I can grow. So I feel like I have learned to take criticism very well, and I appreciate everyone's point of view. And if someone's not liked the film, that doesn't mean they're getting personal with you, or they have some enmity with you, or they're trying to get even with you. They just didn't like a product. And what is art? Art is art because everyone looks at it differently. If there's a great uh, if there's a great Mozart audio piece, or there's a great Van Gogh painting,
Hmm.
there is a reason why in an exhibition only 2 or 3 people might buy it, because everyone cannot appreciate it. Everyone cannot understand it the same way. So it's
Hmm.
fine. Art doesn't have to be unanimously loved by everybody. If you
Hmm.
find a good set of audience who you can move with your art, then I think you're home. And I think it's very healthy if everyone doesn't respond to something the same way. I
Yeah.
think it's amazing. Yeah.
It's true. No, very well documented and very well recollected as well. And I think, like you said, art is subjective. I think, and I think that's the brilliant thing about the craft as well. So, who would you say, besides obviously Amrish ji, who would you say is your inspiration? I think in cinema. I mean, I
Yeah.
know you mentioned Charlie Chaplin, but who would you say is that sort of that icon for you? Because for me, it's Raj Kapoor, sir. Very honest.
Oh, Raj
So
Kapoor Saab is the greatest. But are you talking internationally or in Indian cinema?
it can be in anyone. It can be everyone and anyone. Whoever basically speaks to you the most in terms of their films and their craft and their acting.
That's a really difficult question. I can't name one person, but at the apex of that holy pyramid, of course, is uh, the great Mr. Amrish Puri. Charlie Chaplin for me is like I have no words. Kishore Kumar is someone who I think is the most underrated actor in the world. I think he was as good an actor as he was a singer, and I love the man. Uh, Steven Spielberg is someone I'm dying to work with, and I will very soon. Uh,
Yes.
uh, I have great respect for Motilal Sahab, who was a brilliant actor. KL Sehgal was amazing. Balraj Sahani, Amitabh Bachchan. I have a special connect with Shah Rukh Khan. I love that man, and I feel a lot of love for him. And I think he's magic when it comes to screen presence. Yusuf Saab is brilliant. Raj Kapoor Saab, like, what do I even
So
say?
pretty much all the legends, I would pretty much sort of
But when it comes to performance,
yeah.
there are a few people who I study very minutely. Daniel Day Lewis, Joaquin Phoenix, Javier Bardem, mm, Meryl Streep.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. They're literally institutions, I think, when it comes to acting.
And I also think uh, there's an actor I was very, very close to, and I think he's not been given the kind of respect as an actor he deserves, but one of the most effortless actors in the world. My favorite, Mr. Rishi Kapoor. I had the good fortune of working with him on Shuddh Desi Romance, and I owe a lot of things I know about acting to him. So yeah,
That's wonderful.
he
Well,
actually he actually sat down with me and gave me like acting classes in the middle of the shoot where I was an AD, and he used to sit with me and tell me so many beautiful things about acting. And every time I'm acting and every time I do something he told me, or he every time I think of something just like he taught me to think, I just look up and I thank him.
oh,
I love that man. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's really
these people are some other level. Yeah.
no, definitely.
Also, I'd like to mention recently I worked on a film, Vivek Agnihotry's film. I worked with two absolutely phenomenal talents, Mr. Anupam Kher and Mr. Satish Kaushik, and I had the best time in the whole world because I was working with like stalwarts, and we had such a ball. And I didn't feel like I'm working with such senior people. I felt like I was working with people my age. They were really chilled out. They were super, and just collaborating with them was
Mm,
amazing. Yeah. So
that's
yeah.
amazing. But I think generally, Vardhan, I think because of the fact that, um, I think whenever I speak with actors, they always have this whole notion of becoming that Bollywood hero. And I know you've mentioned that you always wanted to just stick to acting. But
Right.
was there ever that part of you that wanted this very song and dance, this hyped debut, this very, very sort of highly anticipated debut? Was there ever a part of you that ever wished that or ever wanted that? Ever?
I've never thought about it that way because I believe in, like, I of course love song and dance. I think it's a very important part of cinema. But I'd always decided one thing, that I don't want to peak like in my debut and then uh, have that be the highest point of my career. मैं लंबी रेस का घोड़ा हूँ मेरे को. I want to do 500 films. I want to be working till my last day. I want to be on set even when I'm 100 years old. As stupid and as unbelievable as it may sound, I am here to do that, and I
Yeah.
want to be the biggest possible uh, star of my life and be at the highest point of my life in my 60s and 70s. It might sound really stupid, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And I I don't know if having like even though I feel like there was a lot of excitement and talk about my debut and there was a hype around it, which was great. But I feel like that all doesn't make a difference in the long run. Tomorrow, when like 100 years later, people are not going to talk about how hyped someone's debut was. They're going to talk about the body of work someone carried with them and the way they touched people with some really amazing films they did. So yeah, like the media and the attention and the hype, they're all frills, they're all crutches which help you walk. but it's ultimately the quality of work you do in the long run which influences society, and that's what I'm here for. Just speaking to a really amazing, a very big director recently, and we were having this conversation, and we were talking आंकड़ों की बात हो रही थी, numbers की बात हो रही थी, इस फिल्म में इतने करोड़ किए, उसने इतने करोड़ किए, and suddenly we were like, do you remember Lagan? And he said yes, and I said, do you remember what numbers Lagan did? And he was like, no. And I said, do you remember how Lagan made you feel?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. And I was like, exactly. It's not about the hype. It's not about the number. ये आंकड़ों की जो बात है ना, वो अच्छी है, बिजनेस तक सीमित रहे तो अच्छा है, पर जब हम फिल्मों की बात करते हैं, when we talk about cinema, it's that feeling we had in the cinema house or today in your homes, that feeling you had at that point which counts. It's not the number. It's not इतनी ओपनिंग लगी, अरे 25 करोड़ की ओपनिंग लगी, अरे स्टार बन गया, अरे सेकंड शो फिल्म का हाउसफुल गया, रात के शो में 100% कैपेसिटी थी. 200 years later, no one's going to think of that. But 200 years later, when people speak about a Lagan, when people speak about a Mr. India, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, a Sholay, a Mughal Azam, people are going to still feel those goosebumps if they watch the film. And that's what cinema is all about. So coming back to that, the hype, the media attention, that media glare, all that's fantastic. But that is not what we are here for.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remind, oneself about that, because I feel a lot of times, it's become centrally about that. There's very few times where I've seen, it's taken years for good actors to get recognized in the first place. I mean, Nawazuddin Siddiqui had worked for so many years till he got finally recognized and loved and become, the actor that he is today in that sense as well. And I think it's really important to sort of, I'm glad you mentioned that because it is very pivotal. But as I was saying, the digital boom in India has almost become a renaissance for cinema generally now.
That's right.
The sort of contents we're consuming is perhaps some, very different to what we would perhaps see usually on celluloid on the big screen. So
Right.
you need to be an actor at this stage where there is this digital boom, where there is this sort of influx of fresh stories and fresh content emerging.
Right.
What do you hope to gain out of that experience as well in terms of the digital space that has evolved in India as well?
The digital space is supremely exciting. There is something which I am planning. There are, in fact, two things which I'm planning with leading OTTs, and one of them is being scripted. The other one we are working out the dates for that. And I think I see no demerit in that. I think there are only merits in that because the kind of influence the West has on us when it comes to the digital medium is great. We have a lot of fantastic original Indian stories to tell. The kind of production effort that's going into all of this is brilliant. The ideas are brilliant. They're, the typical old cliched stories are being thrown out. It's more concept oriented. It's getting rid per se of the whole star system, and stories over stars is now the trend. And I think that's amazing because it's the script is always bigger than the actor, and that's how it should be. It should always be like that. And I'm saying that as an actor, so that's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
It's always a script. Like as they say that to make a good film, you need three things: a script, and a script. And I stand by that. So that's helping that quote gain more credence, so to speak. So I think it's fantastic, and there can be nothing greater for an actor because there is so much more work now. I remember there was a point when really good actors were sitting at home and not working and getting really frustrated and not knowing how to come out with their craft and tell good stories. But now there is so much work coming to good actors, not only good actors, even decent actors, that I think it's great because so many more homes are running because of this. So many families are surviving. So many children are getting educated because of this. So, and whenever content gets better, society transforms because our content has a direct impact on how people think, their lifestyle, their thoughts. And in India, especially, cinema and any kind of medium has such a direct impact on people's mind. So I think it's fantastic. But having said that, we also need to be more responsible now because of the whole digital wave that's coming. A lot of youngsters are watching content. They are of an impressionable age. So along with getting really excited about this and knowing the kind of opportunities all this brings, the kind of budgets which are being approved, the kind of money that's being pumped in, we also have to realize that we need to be very socially responsible and make sure that whatever we are saying is said responsibly.
That's very true. That's very
Yeah.
true. And I think on that note as well, Vardhan, I think it's been so wonderful. I think to getting to know you and your sort of ideologies on cinema, the sort of background that you've had, and the sort of um, understanding that you've gained from a very very young age as well. And I think it's quite lovely to have this discussion. And I think it's wonderful that we're getting to see such fresh talents like yourself emerging. And I cannot wait to see more work coming from you and to have this chat again whenever your next work.
I can't wait, and hopefully, inshallah, the next time I'm here, I'm going to come soon. Maybe we can catch up and have some fun together. We can go
Yeah.
out and maybe grab a meal. And when you're in Bombay the next time, you have to come home and have dinner with me and my family.
Oh, that is so sweet. Definitely. No, I will, Vardhan. But once again, thank you so much for joining me for this UK exclusive chat with you. I think it's a huge privilege, and I'm really glad that we could do this. And I know it's been a really hectic schedule as well for you with shooting.
It's
But
been This is my first break day. This is my first break day in the last 30 days. This is my first break
wow.
day.
Wow.
So and this is the first interview I'm doing. So you,
Oh,
my friend,
thank you.
you, my friend, will always be very special to me, and I will always be very happy to meet with you, talk with you, and discuss my favorite uh, topic,
Yeah.
cinema, with you.
Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you, Vardhan. Thank you so much. Well, listen, wishing you all the very best and hope the remainder of the shoot goes well. And Bhavin
Thank you.
Milde, I'll see you on the other side for sure.
I'll pray for you. Please pray for me, and
Yes.
my love and duas to your family. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye. Take care. Bye.